Another beloved video game franchise comes to the big screen. Hello and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry and today I'm going to be talking about Assassin's Creed, which brings the popular video game to the big screen for the first time. Now I have to be honest here and admit that I'm not much of a gamer. I've never actually played Assassin's Creed, and so I kind of go into this movie with the understanding that there are probably a lot of things that I'm going to miss. Unfortunately, it's still a bad movie. Now, I think what's happening here, I think what's going on is that they're taking a huge video game franchise and they are trying to cram everything into a 2-hour movie, which is why I'm guessing the plot just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Over and over, the characters in this movie, even the opening crawl before the movie even starts, tries to point out that the whole crux of this movie is about the good guys and the bad guys who are both trying to find something called the Apple of Eden, which is apparently the key to free will. If the bad guys, the Templars, get it, they're going to use it to control the world. If the good guys, the assassins, which seems a little bit strange, but the good guys are the assassins, if they can get a hold of the Apple of Eden, they're going to use it to preserve liberty and free will, and they're willing to go to their dark side in order to do it. Now, this leads us to Cal, played by Michael Fassbender, who is a death row inmate living in our modern day. He winds up getting executed, but he's not really executed. They wake him up and he finds out that he's really in Madrid, Spain, under the guiding hand of Marion Cotillard, who plays Sophia, who is leading this program that she claims is supposed to eventually find a way to genetically eradicate violence. Are you still with me on this? If you played the games, you probably are. If you're not, you're going to feel like I was as part of the audience. There's a lot to sift through here. Essentially, Michael Fassbender's character is plugged into this machine, which is supposed to project his consciousness or project him genetically into the mind of one of his ancestors. So he's fighting back in the 15th century against the Spanish Inquisition and having all these battles, but he's still really plugged into this machine. So it's almost kind of like the Matrix in a way. Now, again, they keep trying to zero in on this idea that they're searching for this Apple of Eden. But the problem is, they're saying that over and over again because if you try to follow the story on your own, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's just way too much going on. Between the actual narrative itself and the actual costume design, it's hard to follow people and tell things apart. And ultimately, it just becomes a big spectacle. The visuals are incredible. I mean, there's a great look and feel to this. The tone is very consistent. There's a thundering soundtrack. And so if you can kind of turn your brain off and try not to connect any of the dots, you'll probably enjoy this. And again, like I say, if you're a fan of the games, you're going to be able to pick up on a lot more of this. And eventually the story does come together in a little bit more clear fashion. You can kind of make sense of it. But the journey to get there, frankly, is just not worth it. This is a classic example of trying to take a huge developed universe and try to cram it into too little of an origin story. And so that's why I'm ultimately going to give this one about 1.5 stars out of 4, which is too bad because I love Michael Fassbender. I love Marion Cotillard. Jeremy Irons is also in this one. The special effects, the action scenes, lots of really good things happening, all for naught, unfortunately. Now this movie is rated PG-13, mostly for violence and all that kind of over-the-top action. There's also the obligatory F-bomb used one time. But other than that, you're pretty much looking at your standard PG-13 type of movie. So thanks again for watching. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. On our way out, we'd like to thank Rocket Gator for providing us with the place to shoot these lovely videos. If you want to see more of these videos, be sure to subscribe and always keep your notifications on so you can see them as soon as they're posted.